Hi, Tim Meyer here from Keep Yourself Relevant. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a series that I'm starting called Leading Teams. And the first activity that I wanted to go over was setting the objective and key results for your team for the year. It's the beginning of the year, and everyone's thinking about creating objectives and key results for your team. I will go through a series of steps for how you create the objectives and key results. So there's four steps that I used, and I used I'll show you in a little bit. I used a card from a Team Tactics product that I bought recently, and it has a lot of the details behind the scenes on how you manage and do a objective and key results activity. So the first thing that I did was to email my team about the objective session that I have that I was going to be setting up. And you could also meet with your team if you wanted to do that. My team's a remote team, so we met. I just sent an email and then we met through a Teams activity. Then during an actual meeting, we actually did these three pieces in one meeting. We did a brainstorm on the objectives. We then defined the metrics for each objective and then defined the key results. So those were the steps that we went through to create our objectives and key results for the year. Again, I went with the activity of sending an email out to my team. I sent out an email and then asked the team members to send the objectives that they could identify to me, or you could have them send them to you. And then I also had in the email, I provided a definition of some of the objectives that we were looking to, that we've recently done in the last few years, or also had definition of some of the just what is an objective as well. So again, I then set up a meeting and we went through the first part of the meeting was to review the objectives and brainstorm and refine the data that we had come up with. And then we voted on the top three objectives for the team, the ones that we thought were most relevant. And then we created a backlog of the remaining objectives that we had identified. So in our case, we had three different key objectives. The first one was to complete a data conversion for ABC Bank to Salesforce. And again, these are fictitious since I am not able to share exactly what we did for client confidentiality purposes. And then we completed an integration service for ABC Bank to Salesforce, and then also completed a functional flow for deposit products on Salesforce. And these are all, I work for I'm a project manager on a development environment, and we build systems for Salesforce clients. So again, these were the part one of the first day was to just brainstorm and further refine some of the objectives and then vote on the top three. Then the next activity was we went for each of the objectives, we went through and did a brainstorm session on what are some of the metrics that we would use for an objective. So what we came up with for our first one was to complete the data conversion was our first objective. So we just identified some of these metrics: number of customers, number of active accounts, number of inactive accounts, dollar amount of deposits, and the number of addresses. In this case, this client had people that were snowbirds, if you will. They went to Arizona or California or Florida for the winter. So we needed to know if they had a home address and then a winter address, if you will. And then the third part was we actually defined the actual key results that we were looking for. And we used the SMART methodology at trying to identify something specific, measured, attainable, realistic, and time based. You probably have done SMART goals before. And so in our case, we said we would complete the data conversion for ABC Bank to Salesforce by Q1 in the QA environment. So it's time based because it's in Q by Q1, which would be March, end of March. It's in a specific environment, in this case QAs, and then we would have we used our metrics to help us define the completion criteria. So I just wanted to share, this is what we did to create our objectives and key results. I did use, as I mentioned earlier, I did use this card to help me come up with some of the criteria and meeting agenda, if you will. This is from a company called PIP Dex, and they sell this product for $99. And here's some of the information. And there's 54 different cards in the deck. You can find that information here at this page. It's $99. I have the, you know, have can help you get a discount for 10% off the $99 if you go to pipdex.com and /Tim Meyer when you purchase your product. So thank you again for joining in today. And again, I'm doing this series on leading teams and some of the activities that will be upcoming. This first one was on objectives and key results. If you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you and have a great day.